Even now, I keep these feelings close to my heart. Past memories, selves, I no longer have any use for, that no longer resonate with me. The final moments of the man I used to be, before I threw myself into the endless voyage. I wonder if my purpose has changed. No, my destiny itself remains the same. Eternity. I had reached for eternity with nothing to gain from it. Could there be any other purpose as pure and immaculate as that? But something has changed. I have changed. My definition of eternity has changed, along with the method by which I would prove it. I had aspired to go through many eons in order to witness completion. Yet now, I desire those many eons in order to obtain completion. Oh, is this Arcueid talking? Though I understand how unsightly that desire is, my heart remains immutable. It's all because of her. It's not Arcueid talking. She is to blame. She is to blame for me losing the purity of the man I once was. So I guess it's Shiki? Or maybe Ra? Humans aren't strong enough to live for 1,000 years. The human vessel cannot withstand such attrition, either physically or mentally. Even with the immortal body of a bloodsucker, one still cannot prevent the mind from growing dull. Naturally, the deterioration of the mind can be averted. However, to do so would entail its stasis. An ego locked in amber, thoughts frozen in place, objectivity trapped in a bygone era. Such immortality has no discernible value. It is imperative that I continue to cling to the purity of my weak, and thus ever-changing, human form. So I guess it is Shiki. Yeah, the Empire transformation and all that. But for what purpose? It barely merits mention. What meaning would there be to do this if I didn't? I must know the final destination of humanity. Not as a mere observer, but as a participant. Because if I don't, I'll never be able to reach her. It seems reincarnation really is my best option. So I guess it is wrong. I can be born anew, mature into myself, and then die yet again. So long as I remain within that cycle, I should be able to keep on existing, while preserving the purity of my own being. Or maybe the her, I will not cling to my personal permanence. Instead, I will continuously drift around in a resulting permanence. In a sense, this will also be my final act of resistance against the person I have become after straying from my course. However, even though my theory remains pure, not a trace of my own purity yet remains. Somewhere in the course of my voyage, I lost the part of myself that sought to know eternity. Much like every other dead apostle, I began desiring to prove eternity for my own sake. My former self could never have imagined the attrition it would bring out. However, I did come to know hatred for the first time. Because if she hadn't existed, then none of these things, my despair, my impurity, could ever have come to be. Yeah, I definitely think we're in the Arcueid versus Ciel arc, definitely. So I'm pretty sure if my guess is correct, this might be the final arc. Like we're just gonna see Ciel and Arcueid fight. You know, whatever happens after that will probably be the end of it. Maybe. I don't know for sure, but you know, just guessing. I feel as though my body is being dredged up out of the depths. I wake up with eyes that feel like they're about to pop out of their sockets. Roused by words that feel like heavy, immovable boulders. Crunch. By the time I wake up, the day is already over. It's midnight. Looks like I slept like a log for over 12 hours straight. Been there before. I have no recollection of that voice. I have no recollection of that vista. And yet, I suddenly realized what it was that he saw. No, who he saw. Crunch. What's going on? My head has been pounding from the minute I woke up. It's like a hammer bludgeoning the shell of a crab, a tool used to crush the corpses of previously living. Crunch. The image of someone smiling as they wield that weapon in service of a delicious morsel really drives home the fact that humans are the most preposterous predators on this earth. Crunch. Roll coming out, I guess? We're trying to. Damn. This pain will kill me before you can even take over. The fuck are you even getting so worked up about? You need my body, don't you? If you aren't able to turn into me, you're done for. Surely you understand that if you smash my skull to pieces before we switch places, we both lose. Or what? Do you hate her so much that you're blind to such a simple... The blow to my head knocks me to the floor. It's not like I've been concussed or anything. The impact I felt didn't come from outside my body. It came from within. Ugh. My whole body convulses. The signaling mechanism in my brain, my neurotransmitters, are malfunctioning. Still bent over on the floor, I start vomiting. After I've thrown up everything left in my stomach, I begin coughing up blood. Don't wreck up Ciel's room now. Stop. No more. If you keep going, I'll break. My head is being crushed. My body jerks violently, like a dog with electrodes implanted in its brain. I can't even feel my skull anymore. It's like the top half of my cranium has been completely stripped off. But despite that... Jesus. But despite that, my headache doesn't fade one bit. So yeah, I guess the person talking was Roa, and he was talking about his hatred of Arcueid, and now it's leading to this temper shrimsham and shiki right now. I sure hope you didn't get a noise complaint over this. Uh-oh. It hurts so much that I slammed the source of the pain into the table. Fortunately, it's made of glass. The table breaks before I do. It probably would have, even if it were made of wood. After all, the hammer I just wielded is made of calcium, the strongest material in the human body. It would take a saw or a laser scalpel to cut through something like that. Blood is streaming down my forehead. Naturally, it doesn't hurt at all. I take this over being mercilessly beaten over the head with a blunt object any day. I can't take it anymore. But even blacking out is denied to me. How often does this pain come? How many times per second, per minute does it come? It hurts. Just do something. Anything. I stab my palm over and over again with my knife. It doesn't work. It doesn't hurt at all. Of course. This is all because of the lines. My glasses. This will all go away if I put on my glasses. Just like it always does. Can he see the lines even with his glasses on? Is that the development here? Stop. I can't laugh. If I do, I will lose control. But how can I not? I mean, what else can I do? Ciel-senpai still isn't back yet. It hasn't even been 10 minutes since I woke up. It's night, so this is what happens when night falls. There's over 6 hours left until dawn. Just thinking about it is almost enough to drive me insane. Just imagine if one of Ciel's neighbors came downstairs and fucking knocked on the door. What do you think would happen there?
It's your neighbor from downstairs.
I'm already well past my limit. If I have to put up with this pain any longer, I'll be dead by the time Senpai returns. I need to take matters into my own hands. My own hands. My own hands. The solution is painfully obvious. There's only one thing that could be causing this. I've never felt this kind of pain before. I've never felt this abnormal in Shiki's room. Therefore, this room must be what's driving me mad. My headache won't go away if I stay in this room. Outside. If I don't go outside, I'll go insane. You sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure you went pretty crazy, if not crazy, or at least in my eyes, in Shiki's room. I was warned not to leave this room. I know that. Regardless of whether or not this headache is a trap set by me, I know that if I go outside, I'll have no way out of this. But here, right now, there's a way out. If I leave this room, I can run away for a few hours. If I stay in this room, I'll die before those few hours are even up. With unsteady steps, I advance toward the entrance. I'm so cold it's hard to believe that I'm even alive. I suffer no thirst, no hunger, no lust, no lapse of consciousness. And yet, on impulse, for no real reason at all, I suddenly wanted to go see the golden moon. Ugh, I don't like the way this is looking. The distortions won't go away. Jesus, even looking at the fucking streets, Jesus, this looks awful. My vision keeps getting worse. There are no signs of life in the city. Each and every building, each and every structure is cocooned in what looks like spider's silk. A white fog has enveloped the sleeping city. So is this what normal vampire vision looks like? Like everything looks white and shit? It makes it look like ruins that have been dead for thousands of years. I walk on, bewitched by these disorienting hallucinations. The golden moon shines brightly overhead. Perhaps thanks to the moonlight, the headache that had previously plagued me is now gone. It's so calm, it feels like I'm at the bottom of the ocean. After a time, I arrive here. Was I the one drawn toward it, or did it lure me in? Either way, the outcome remains the same. The stone plaza is bathed in moonlight. Though my vision has grown vague and indistinct, a lone beautiful figure stands out with supreme clarity. Guess who it is? Oh, it's gone now. Okay. I take a deep breath and pull my hazy consciousness back down to reality. Hey yo. The city fades away, leaving the two of us in a world of our own. There, the moonlight is as luminous as the sun's rays.
こんばんは。私の素敵な殺人鬼さん。
Oh god, that gaze. It says 1,000 words, doesn't it?
こうして会うのは久しぶりね。
Before me stands the vampiress I've met time and time again in my dreams, Arcueid. This is no headache-induced optical illusion. Even though her appearance hasn't changed at all, Something about her form is different. She doesn't have the air of royalty she carried in Roa's memories, nor does she act with the simple naivete she displayed in my own. Instead, she seems to embody a mixture of the two.
アルクエイド、お前帰ったんじゃなかったのか。
あら、どうしてそう思うの？私、自分からこの町を去ると告げたかしら。
Arcueid smiles with delight. Her bearing is elegant and frightening, both to degrees hitherto unseen. The innocent charm of a maiden plucking the petals from a flower, wondering if he loves me or he loves me not. Yet also the needless cruelty of a child amusing themselves by tearing the wings off of a captive insect. To be honest, I'm dying to run over to Arcueid and talk with her like I used to. After all, it was never my intention to cut all ties with her to the point where we can't even speak to each other. But, as things stand, I can't afford to approach her without thinking it through. My instincts are screaming warnings at me. The only reason she's stuck around is to find and kill Roa. In other words, if she realizes that Roa is inside of me, then all of a sudden I'll be the one she's here to kill.
ロアはもう死んだって言ったのはお前だろ。死者の後始末だって先輩がやってくれるんだし、お前がこの町に残る理由はもうないんじゃないか。
I answer her calmly, trying not to reveal how nervous I am. All I'm doing is repeating something she told me. Since it's her own words, I'm sure she'll accept them without...
ええ、棺にいたロアが殺したわ。でもロアそのものは殺していない。私には魂を殺す手段がないってシキも知っているでしょ。
そうだったな。次の転生を待つしかないんだっけ。
その事情が変わったの。運がいいことに10年以上も待つ必要はなくなった。
Yeah.
だってロアは依然私の目の前にいるんだもの。
Yep, she knows. And with those words... Oh shit. Arcueid locks her red eyes with mine. Mystic eyes. I stop breathing. Sweat breaks out all over my body. Faced with a being of a fundamentally different nature, my reality begins to melt away. I can't breathe. My throat won't move. I remain frozen in place, paralyzed by the intrusion that if I do anything so pointless as breathe, then my head will be ripped clean off my shoulders. If I'd still been human, if I'd still been ignorant, this wouldn't be as bad. But now, there's nothing I can do. With my senses sharpened by my vampirization, I can tell exactly how much peril I'm currently in. I can't win. I can't even run. She so outclasses me as a vampire that it's not even funny. If I were to fight her now, it would be like an ant trying to take on an elephant.
バカなシキ。あんな女に肩入れしなければそんな目に遭わなかったのにね。
Arcueid still hasn't moved. Is it because she thinks I don't stand a chance? No. It's just something she still wants to confirm.
そんな目ってなんだよ。毎日充実してるぞ、俺。
物は言いようね。信じた人間に殺されかけたり、吸血鬼になった女に殺されかけたりしたのが充実。そんなことでいいのなら私も混ざればよかったかな。私を裏切ったシキのためにもっと残酷な遊びを考えてあげたのに。
I figured that might be why. I guess she really took my decision to help Ciel senpai personally. Well, there's not much I can do about it now. I wasn't aware of it back then, but at this point, it couldn't be more obvious. Arcueid and Ciel senpai. The relationship will always cause them to come into conflict.
まあいいわ。シエルの話はしないであげる。今はもっと聞きたいことがあるんだし。それでどうなのシキ。自分の中にロアがいる感想は。あの時みたいにやっぱり私を殺したくてたまらない？
For a split second, my whole body feels weightless. It's honestly possible that the world around us really did shake. With the smile of someone picking flowers in the garden of heaven, she brings the full weight of her indescribable bloodlust down upon me. I'm wide awake now. Arcueid is going to kill me. That's the reason why she's here. We're a little less than 7 meters apart. Against an opponent like her, I wouldn't feel safe even if I were 100 meters apart. Yet right now, 7 is all I got.
あのな、何度も言うけど人を殺人鬼扱いするな。俺がおかしくなるのはお前に対してだけだ。殺せるか殺せないかなんていつだって考えてる。
What the hell? Why did I just prove her point? No, hold on. Was that really what I was thinking about?
相変わらずおかしな人ね。殺人鬼じゃないって言い張るのに私だけは特別なの？それとも嘘つきなのかしら。
うるさい！黙ってろ吸血鬼！大体な、嘘つきなのはそっちだろ。お前最初から知ってたんだろ。地下にいたロアを殺した後、ロアが俺に転移したことを。
ええ、もちろん。ロアは私が使徒にしたやつだもの。奪われた自分の力がどこで脈づいているかなんて簡単に感じ取れる。覚えてる？シキが私に協力すると言ってくれた夜、死者の食堂を壊した後のこと。
Oh yeah. Thinking back on it, that's about when I started getting these almost lethally painful headaches. Ro had already transferred into me at that point, so that must have been that piece of shit getting pissy at me whenever I grew closer to Arcueid.
そうかよ。じゃああれか。死者狩りは物のついでで、本命は俺の監視だったのか。
Just like Ciel was?
ああ、そっか。そういうことになるのね、式から見ると。観察って意味じゃ合ってるからそれでいっか。いろいろな意味であなたは希少だったから。ロアはここに来て法則を変えた。次の時代に移るのではなく、この時代にとどまって永続しようとした。今まで何回も繰り返してきたパターンを放棄したのよ。それが罠かどうか見極める時間も欲しかった。
Those crimson eyes. When she stares at me with those eyes, I feel a sudden throbbing pain as my headache returns. Throb, throb. Inside my head, Roa begins to stir.
疑問はあるわ。どうしてロアはあなたに転移したのか。あなたはどうしてそんなことが可能な体なのか。でももう気にするのはやめることにしたの。だって殺してしまえば結果は同じでしょ。
It hurts. Every time Arcueid says his name, the memories of the man inside my brain goes berserk. Throb. 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 This damn song, I swear. It was a memory of a distant past, In the abyss of the planet, by humanity untrod, nestled among the mountains lies the ancient castle where the flowers of the moon bloom. There, furthest above the surface, is the deepest inner sea of all, and trapped within it, the figure of a woman. And that is all this mere memory of a man has seared into his soul. As frustrating as it is, that fragment of eternity is something I cannot understand. She was a true ancestor who was never taught her own significance. She was treated as a tool for hunting down the fallen true ancestors. She knew not words, nor life, nor time. The firmament seals off the sky overhead. Within that garden of flowers in full bloom, she alone stands in the clear and vibrant focus. The man had felt that her figure was beautiful. For the first time in his life, for what would likely be the only time in his life, Michael Roa Valdemyon fell in love as he gazed upon that figure in white. It's difficult for me to accept, but it was the one and only human sentiment that he left behind. The personality of the original Roa can no longer be read. It has been overwritten by generation after generation, reincarnation after reincarnation, to the point where the original text has been lost completely. And yet, that picture remains, burned into the page. A memory that will not dim or fade, no matter how many reincarnations pass. It is what turned the theologian's world on its head, the ubiquitous and banal answer to life. I get it now. So that's why he hated Arcueid. Perhaps he couldn't help but hate her. She had taken his purity from him. All it took was a glance. He had taken just a single look at her, and had his heart stolen. She was the flower that had shown him how meaningless the thesis he pursued was. Perhaps he hated everything about the existence of that vampiress in white. I see, so that's where that little beginning ring came from. Got it. So he fell in love with her, and he's mad at himself for being in love with her because, kind of took away that little, as it says, the purity that he once had. So yeah, interesting. I didn't know Ro was romantically attracted to her and stuff. I thought they were just rivals for the sake of being rivals, but that explains some stuff. A lifetime of purpose spilled from his palm like sand. The resentment over how precarious and short-lived it had been was nobody's but his own. The dream I held is not to be overwritten by something such as this. His conviction, along with his pride, would not let him choose any path other than animosity. He believed that the only way to regain his former self was to defeat and desecrate the object of his hatred. It was not a mistake in the eyes of the world, but it was a mistake as a human being. The man who had sought to become the underling of the greatest true ancestor in order to become immortal, instead became immortal in order to ensnare the greatest bloodsucker. Roa had deceived Arcueid, who wasn't even aware that she was a bloodsucker herself, and made her drink his blood, binding their souls together. The man who had become Arcueid's dead apostle gave free rein to the powers granted to him as a vampire. Arcueid, meanwhile, lost herself after sucking blood for the first time, and methodically annihilated all of the surviving true ancestors. In order to achieve this, he had tracked Arcueid down, attained immortality through reincarnation, and at the same time entrusted her with control over his lifespan. How was it that he didn't understand? Even after reincarnating dozens of times, in his hatred he still continues to wait for her. Except, it isn't hatred at all. This man, who had so single-mindedly devoted himself to this thesis, had never known human emotions. Had never known what it meant to care so strongly for another that you stray from your course. It may bear a resemblance to hatred, but a human who is truly steeped in hate wouldn't believe in another person to the degree he did. And Roa did believe in Arcueid. He believed that she would be the one to chase him, hate him, and kill him as many times as it takes, and guide him to eternity. He had embarked on this voyage, despite knowing it was a wish that could never be fulfilled. An endless journey toward infinity. Yet even if he is worn down, fades, or turns into another concept altogether, his soul will continue to drift on. That is the fate chosen by Michael Roa Valdemion. The life of a man who never realized that the emotion he felt was love. God damn. For an instant, no, for a long, long time, I dreamed of the man behind everything, the man who had tried to remain forever in the present through reincarnation. Arcueid has been staring at me in silence the entire time. Her bloodlust hasn't abated at all. She stands ready to kill me, and yet she chose to let the opportunity pass and give me more time. A naive fantasy pops into my head. Could it be that this is just her way of playing a practical joke, and she's just been teasing me this entire time?
余裕ね。考える時間をあげたのに、そんな無駄なことに使うなんて。逃げる算段はしないの？それともとっくに観念して、私に首を差し出すつもりなの？シキ。
だよな。
I let out a laugh. Of course it was just a fantasy. She doesn't joke around when it comes time to fight, especially when that fight is a battle to the death between vampires.
どっちもありえない話だ。俺はロアなんて奴には負けない。吸血鬼にもならない。明日になれば、きっと。
Ciel will return. And so, until she does, I can't allow Arcueid to kill me.
やっぱり、シキはそうでなくちゃ。あなたはどんな時でも強がりを言っていた。自分の状態を把握した上で、できもしないことを達成するために、本気で自分の命を使っていた。だから私も確信していたわ。あなたは簡単にロアにはならない。塔の指揮という意志が残っているうちは、最後まであなたのままなんだって。
Arcueid's voice has become more cheerful. Her bloodlust now lacks any real animosity. It's not that she isn't serious about killing me. She's definitely committed to that. I think it's more that she's just enjoying our conversation. Now that I think about it, this place is precious to us. It's where we promised to work together, and where we'd wait for each other. That's why neither of us have crossed the final line. We don't want to sully those memories. In which case, there may still be a chance we can talk this out. If I'm able to persuade her, then living to see the sunrise might not be a pipe dream after all.
そりゃありがたい。そこまで信じてるんなら、もう放っておいてくれ。ロアとは俺がきっちり型をつける。結果はどうなるにしろ、必ず息の根を止めて、転生を終わらせてやる。俺たちならそれができるんだ。だから、お前はこのまま。
帰れっていうのなら聞かないわ。シキが当てにしているのは教会の連中でしょ。あいつらにロアを封印されるのはお断りよ。ロアを処分するのは自分の力を取り戻すためでもある。だからね、ロアを内包した人間は私の手で始末をつけないと意味がないわ。
バカ、それだって意味がないぞ。ロアの転生体を殺したところで奴は生き続ける。お前が奴に与えちまった血だって戻らな。
私が与えた血が。
That struck a chord. God damn. Where'd that little calm, peaceful, cheerful attitude go? Damn. I clamp my mouth shut before I can finish the sentence. Every muscle in my body tenses up. I feel like my consciousness has been jettisoned, leaving my body with nobody at the helm. This is real bad. I touched a nerve that I really shouldn't have.
ロアに取られた力だって戻らないだろ
う。全部はね。でも封印と転生は別よ。今封印されたら力を横取りされたままだけど、殺して転生させてしまえばロアは私から力を引き出さない。たった10年程度のことだけど気持ちは落ち着くわ。人間だって自分の小指を他人に使われたら嫌でしょ。それと同じよ。
Right. Obviously, killing Roa's reincarnation isn't enough to break the master-servant relationship between him and Arcueid. However, until Roa's reincarnation awakens once more, it does temporarily put their covenant on hold. That's why Arcueid isn't able to find him before he awakens, and why she has no choice but to kill his reincarnations, even if only as a temporary solution. And I'm no exception. If she wants to prevent Roa from using her power, she can't let his reincarnation live. It's not a permanent solution, only a temporary band-aid.
そうかよ。それじゃどうしても。
You're going to kill me, aren't you?
でもね、シキ。あなたの中にいるロアの波動は弱々しいわ。きっとあいつは胎児から始めないとその人間になり変われない。私に転生体を潰されてなんとかあなたの中に転移したのはいいけど、それが限界。ロアとあなたは意識こそ溶け合うものの完全に上書きされることはない。
完全には上書きされない。アルクエイド、それって。
ええ、ロアの純度はますます下がるでしょう。それなら殺すまでもない。私はロアに奪われた力が私の下で動けばそれでいいんだから。
Okay. Arcueid just said there's no need for her to kill me. So then why is she here in front of me? Why is she looking at me with that threatening, serious look in her eyes?
わからないな。何が言いたいんだ、アルクエイド。
あなたに私のしもべになれと言っているのよ。
For reasons entirely unrelated to the pressure Arcueid is exuding, my mind is wiped completely blank as my breath catches in my throat. She's serious when she says that. I understand exactly what that means. How much weight those words carry. I clench my teeth to try and hold back the tears welling up in my eyes. Our conversation is over. Well and truly over. There's only one way forward now. I accept that she and I will never again smile together like we used to.
私、本気だから。返事を聞かせて。
Arcueid's voice is vaguely tense, as unthinkable as that is. I'm struck by a headache unlike any other. Roa, the guy inside of me, absolutely detests Arcueid's words. Is it anger born out of despair? Or does he feel a sense of envy toward Tonoshiki?
私のしもべになるのなら、ロアの侵食は止めてあげる。それで今までの塔の式の生活はおしまい。これからは夜の世界に生きるものになるけど、あなたのあり方は維持されるわ。
Awesome call of the night shit?
そのままじゃあなたは大なり小なり自分が失われるんだから、考えるまでもないと思うけど。
簡単に言ってくれるな。どうやってロアを抑え込むって言うんだよ。
Is it just me, or does Shiki's voice sound oddly deeper than it usually is? I guess that's just Ro's influence?
あら、ロアを止められるのはあなただけよ、シキ。 けどその方法ではシキ自身も死んでしまう。だから私の方法はシキ自身を強くするだけ。あなたがロアより強い心を持てばロアがどう暴れようと関係ないでしょ。
My headache bludgeons my brain yet again. Ro is furious. He's screaming inside my head, warning me not to be fooled by her, that she means to turn me into a puppet. I take a single deep breath. I don't trust a word Ro says, but it's clear to me that Arcueid is dangerous right now. She's gone completely off the rails. Whatever method she's suggesting, I doubt it's something a human would consider acceptable. If I harden my mind to the point where I can suppress Roa, where I can withstand these headaches, then wouldn't that mean becoming so dulled to the world that I wouldn't feel anything? I take off my glasses. I remove my knife from my pocket. I extend the blade and hold it out in front of me at eye level.
シキ。
お断りだ。俺はお前のものになんかならない。
Are we fighting?
そっか。仕方ないな。なら力ずくね。
Her footsteps echo loudly.
あなたには殺されたこともあるし、一度お返しをしてあげなくっちゃって思ってたんだ。
A white blur shoots towards me, blowing a gust of wind in front of it. I don't have the luxury of hesitating, or any time to come to a decision. The one thing I wanted to avoid, a battle to the death between vampires, has already begun. My knife clashes with Arcueid's claws. Beneath the golden moon, I deflect the attacks of the beautiful figure in white through reflex alone. I parry her once again. Honestly, I can't even see Arcueid's movements at all. Another parry. There's no intent to kill behind Arcueid's claws at all. Yet they could still tear me limb from limb all too easily. I continue to parry. My blood moves on its own. I might as well not even be thinking. My arms react automatically to deflect Arcueid's claws, my entire body driven by nothing but my own desire not to die. I'm playing a third strike right now. God damn. A worried smile tugs at the corners of my lips. Much as I hate to admit it, I'm pretty far along in my transformation into a vampire. Once night falls, I become a lot harder to kill, and my physical abilities improve by leaps and bounds. Now that I've experienced it firsthand, I kind of understand where Noel was coming from. Anyone would be hard-pressed to maintain their human morals when endowed with a body that can move this freely. But even this body has its limits. My limbs can't keep up with Arcueid's onslaught. I'm being completely overwhelmed. To make matters worse, I can't even see any lines. The one weapon I had at my disposal. I don't have any way of damaging her. Arcueid said it herself a while back. During the night, she becomes a being that doesn't have a fated end. My knife is deflected, hard. The impact I wasn't able to parry grazes my left shoulder. While I'm lucky it wasn't her palm, rather than her claws, the end result is the same. With a single swing of her arm, she sends me flying backwards across the plaza. I somehow manage to land on my feet and hold up my knife. My situation hasn't improved at all. No matter how intensely I scrutinize Arcueid's body, I can't spot so much as a single line. My throat is burning. I feel like my heart is about to explode. I'm only just realizing it now, but I haven't been able to breathe properly since we came face to face. Arcueid's red eyes are exerting some sort of silent pressure on me.
どう？少しは目が覚めた？
Arcueid, meanwhile, hasn't so much as broken a sweat. Damn it. I'm over here feeling like my brain's about to shut down for lack of oxygen. And here she is acting like this is all just a walk in the park.
本当に強情ね。それだけの強さがあるんなら、さっさとロアを殺してしまえばよかったのに。
何言ってるんだ、お前。
Wheezing and struggling to catch my breath, I somehow managed to gulp down some oxygen. I didn't realize I'd still need oxygen to keep my blood flowing properly even after I turned into a vampire.
いいか、自分の手でロアを殺すってことはあれだ。要は自殺するってことだ。
To put it visually, it would mean stabbing myself in the heart with my own knife. I'd definitely be able to kill Roa that way. I'd also free Arcueid and Ciel Senpai from his curse. However, I'd be gambling on getting it right first time. Would I even be able to see my own death properly? If I could, would I be able to sever it properly? And besides...
それができればとっくにやってる。
Yeesh.
死にたくないから、生き物として弱いから、俺はこんなところまで来ちまったんだろう。
As I'm catching my breath, I also let my feelings of anger and frustration spill out. Still, if I had that kind of strength, huh? Choosing to kill yourself in order to fight instead of running away, I guess that requires a strong mind, regardless of whether it's right or wrong.
そんな強さは願い下げだよ。悪いけど、そう簡単にお前の思い通りには。
呆れた。そこまで吸血鬼の体になっているのに、まだ人間の基準から抜け出せていないなんて。でもまあ、しょうがないか。人間は停止したら治らないんだもの。そう簡単に考えは変わらないわよね。
There's a hint of disappointment and pity in her voice. She wasn't trying to provoke or insult me just now. It sounded more like she was trying to hint at something incredibly important for me.
あなたがその目をもう一段階深く理解すれば、魂だけを仕留めることだってできる。魂を失った肉体は存在指針をなくして停止してしまうけど、それはあくまで二次的な結果。吸血鬼であれば、肉体は生きてさえいれば蘇生する。あとはどちらの魂が生き残るか。一人分の死の点と二重になっている魂。なら、死に絶えるのは意志が弱い方だと思わない？
待て。ちょっと待って。それはどういう。
ダメ。待ったげない。
Quick as a flash, Arcueid closes the distance between us. I may not be able to keep up with her, but I do have an idea of just how fast she is. The instant she blinked out of sight, I started to swing my knife, even though I knew it was probably futile. My knife bounces right off her beautiful nose. As I feared, attacking her anywhere other than her lines of death is as good as useless. She's damn sturdy, but that's only one side of the equation. I'm just not strong enough in general. If I had the same amount of magical energy and raw strength as Vlav, I'd at least be able to concuss her a bit, even if my knife still wouldn't leave a mark on her.
軽い軽い!
To use a baseball analogy, it's like she took her sweet time winding up only to pitch an overhand throw. Only someone who utterly outmatches their foe could afford to do something so sloppy and careless. She is not taking me seriously at all.
さあ、お前の頭がな。
If none of my attacks are going to have any effect, then I can't afford to stand still and start trading blows with her head on. I jump backward, dodging as she swings her claws down with the exaggerated sweep of a giant panda. I'm not surprised about the fact that I dodged it, so much as the fact that what I'd intended to be a half step backward became 5 whole meters.
そうそうそうでなくっちゃ。少しは分かってきたよね、シキ。
I was the one who wasn't taking her seriously. She wasn't trying to hit me with that giant swing, she was launching something. Even though I've jumped back, a shockwave strong enough to be visible is bearing down on me. It's the same natural interference that she used to mow down the dead before. The man lurking in the corner of my brain warns me that since I don't have any defensive magecraft, that thing will slice through me like a hot knife through butter. But his warning comes a little too late. Arcueid's wall of a swing blots out everything else in sight. I can't retreat backward or to the side. There's only one direction I can go, and that's... The instant I realize the only way out is up, my legs are already kicking off from the ground. I'm so caught off guard by my own reaction that I let out a yelp of surprise. I'm pretty damn high up. Looking down, I have a panoramic view of the park fountain. Did I seriously just jump 10 meters in the air using nothing but my own 2 legs?
いや、吸血鬼すごいな。
でしょ？
I don't even have time to be surprised by the voice coming from above me. Bro got spiked like he was in Smash or some shit. Her ruthless attack sends me crashing back down to the ground. She struck me square in the chest this time, as if showing off what she's really capable of. As a result, I slam into the ground back first, and then...
休む暇とかあげないから。
Even after sending me sprawling on the ground like some discarded luggage, she wastes no time in delivering her follow-up. Her attacks are hitting me even harder than they did before. 1, 2, 3, 4 strikes. It doesn't even take 5 hits before I'm completely out of ways to defend myself. What did I expect? I'm the idiot here. Even if I hadn't taken any damage from that fall a second ago, there's no way I would have been able to block Arcueid's attacks. Her tone may be playful, but she isn't messing around at all. Her offense has been completely devoid of openings. She's dead serious. From the moment she appeared before me, she was ready for everything that was about to unfold. I didn't even have a chance to get a handle on my new abilities, and I failed to realize just how serious she really was. In my unprepared state, I never stood a chance against this vampiress in white, and the raw fury of her unbridled emotions. Uh-oh. Critical hit. I hear a crack as the back of my head slams into the stonework. I can feel Arcueid's weight pressing my shoulder against the ground. I've been knocked flat. Arcueid pinned me down before I could even blink, let alone react. This shot seems familiar. Arcueid stares at me in silence, not moving away from her position on top of me. A decisive victory. When you weigh the same as your opponent, trying to get them off of you in a position like this is nigh impossible. Though, even if I could, a battle of strength between us would be over before it even started. All that's left is for her to end it all by mercilessly ripping my head off my shoulders with her claws. But that end doesn't come. Even though she's in a position to kill Rua, to kill me, Arcueid remains tongue-tied. The maddening silence stretches on, like a thread drawn tight. Or a moon grown pale. Involuntarily, my breath catches in my throat. She's so close. I could feel her breathing as though it were my own. Even though we're so close that we're almost embracing each other, we're as far apart as the earth and the moon.
なんだよ。もういいだろ。人思いに始末しろよ。殺した後で血を吸って、ゾンビにでも何でもしろ。
If I'm being honest, I can't stand seeing her like this.
命乞いはしないの。宣言撤回とかまだ受け付けてもいいんだけど、殺したら血を吸うしかなくなるわ。あなたが自分から私と契約するのなら血のやり取りなんてしなくて済む。
そっか。血を吸うのが怖いんだっけ、お前。
To be honest, it's kind of weird that they're having this heart-to-heart now, like, damn near in the end of their fight. But it is nice to see, like, Arcueid being the vulnerable girl she once was before, you know, everything went down. You know, that she still has those feelings for Shiki even after his transformation. It's kind of nice.
それはいいけどさ。俺がお前に従うと仮定して、ロアをどうするつもりなんだ。
You know, even though Arcueid is, like, damn near a god at this point, you know, she still has that vulnerable side to her. Just can't be erased.
俺が生きている限り、ロアは生き続けるんだぞ。
希薄になったロアは放っておいても構わないわ。そうね。だからあなたを見逃してあげてもよかった。
なんだ。遠慮しないで見逃せよ。俺なんかに構ってないでさ。早く故郷に帰ってパパを安心させてやれ。
Do you even have one? Genuinely.
でもね、もともと自分の力なんだから取り戻そうとするのは当然でしょ。それに何より。
Her grip tightens. The weight on my shoulder grows heavier.
私はあなたを殺してロバを眠らせるより、このままシキを取り込みたい。殺して亡くしてしまうより、もっと一緒に過ごしたい。前みたいにシキの声を聞いていたい。
Dang, they are really talking like they're exes right now. This is crazy. Her red eyes tell me that's why she's not going to kill me.
信じられないけど、私はあなたが好き。大好き。だから助けてあげる。血も吸わないし、シキの嫌がることは決してしない。
Her red eyes beg me to do just as she says. I have no doubt that that's really how she feels. Arcueid wouldn't lie. She really is just that pure and honest about her own feelings. In which case, if I were to be honest about my feelings too, I can't agree to Arcueid's proposal, can't get myself to hate Arcueid. Where exactly do these decisions go? And, wait, can I not move the, like I'm pressing the D-pad and I can't move the thing. So maybe it's just like that one decision, with me, like, you know, about to fight Ciel. Maybe I, like, made a decision in the past that can't get me to move it, because I don't think I can move it. So, I guess this is just what we gotta do. Can't agree to Arcueid's proposal.
お願いだから逆らわないで。私にあなたを。お願いだから逆らわないで。私にあなたを殺させないで。
Her pleading voice is little more than a whimper. But I can't can't do as she says. I can no longer be together with Arcueid. Not because that's the morally correct decision in the eyes of society, but because that's what my own simple feelings as a man are telling me to do. I'm someone who fundamentally does not understand people. Someone to whom the boundary between life and death was always blurred. Someone fated to be nothing but a repugnant psychopath. And yet, even someone like me had a person who'd praise them for doing their best. Even someone like me had a person to teach them that I still had things left to accomplish. I can hardly even believe it myself. But right now, I have someone I value more than my own life. Gotta stay devoted, I guess, to the one, who seems to, actually have feelings for you, I guess. Plus, you and Arcueid are already done at this point, so I guess there's not really any good point to, go back to Arcueid. Just like, how exes be. You move on from that stuff. You can still be friends, I guess. But I don't know if I can be friends with Arcueid in this state, but, people move on from things, Nothing can stay the same forever, Preparing myself for the worst, I let out a deep breath.
Shiki.
Arcueid's eyelids quiver ever so slightly. It's like she already knows what I'm about to say, and wishes I wouldn't.
ダメだ。お前には従わない。
I mean, you still have my number. We can still be friends, right? Go to the movies, eat out, we can still be homies, right? You don't gotta kill me, I'll try to keep her as suppressed as I can. I'm sure the church will help out, Things don't have to be this way, I didn't expect this. To think that the eyes of this flawless woman could be so clouded by the pain in her chest. Perhaps if I'd been able to tell lies that even I myself could believe, she wouldn't be making this face. I love that, Aoko's not here right now, but I'm happy Shiki still remembers Aoko. And what she did and what she told him. And that's still important to him. It just makes me happy. Every time there's a little line, that reminds me of her, a quote that she said to him, yeah, it makes me happy. No, even if I could.
どうして、シキがこんなに好きなのにダメなの？
当たり前だろ。今のお前はロアと同じだ。
I thought she would always be the woman who had smiled at her irredeemable killer in that back alley.
だから吸血鬼には従わない。
If there's one thing I absolutely cannot do, it is to think of the Arcueid before me now as the Arcueid from back then as the same person. Even though I know it's futile, I swing my knife. The blow, devoid of malice yet loaded with the weight of my emotions, comes to a dead stop against her neck. Not because I stopped it myself, but because I simply couldn't so much as nick her skin.
やめて。なんで？
Her pale and beautiful face is twisted by sorrow. To her, the answer I just gave is the greatest insult she could possibly imagine.
違うもの。違うから。やめて。取り消して。あいつと同じなんかじゃない。いくら好きでも、そんな言葉。
Her neck. All the rage directed at me gives a headache. Something's changed about Arcueid's neck. There, ever so faintly, is a line of death. I realize just how deeply my words must have cut her, if even beneath this golden moon she now bears such a line. But even so, you can't bring yourself to cut it.
違わない。いいから頭冷やして出直してこい。
Oh! As if taking advantage of her tears, I slice through her line. I did not expect him to actually do it. Holy shit. My shackles are released. Arcueid doesn't move. Cutting her line must have weakened her temporarily. I take this chance to slip out from under her white arms and put some distance between us. Now that I'm free, I'm finally able to start breathing again. I pant heavily to try and calm my racing heart. Even though I'm not injured, I'm still in no condition to run. As for Arcueid though, she'll recover from a wound like that in no time, after which she'll be hot on my tail again. Is she dead? Arcueid's arms, which had been propping her up, slowly slide out from under her. She collapses onto the pavement, almost like she's just fallen asleep. Wait, has she still not regained consciousness? Oh god. Oh, she did. I freeze up at the sight of the red liquid. I mean, sure, I did cut her neck. Of course she'd bleed. But for her to fall down so easily, so like a human would, is something I never expected.
Arcueid.
You getting flashbacks, Shiki? From that first time you killed her? Arcueid doesn't so much as twitch. Her red blood continues to spread across the stone plaza. The ominous vermilion color stains her pale figure, as though tainting it with poison. No way. Did I actually kill her?
嘘だろ。Arcueid. そんな。
I guess she just gave up or something. My legs had been poised to run away, but now I swallow nervously and turn to rush over to Arcueid. My question is why you even cut it in the first place. Like, why? Up comes an arm. Oh, she's alive. Okay, fine. Still flat on the ground, Arcueid raises one of her arms like the bent leg of a spider and firmly plants her hand against the stone. You almost scared me there for a second. Oh shit, you got the high quality art. Oh, she pissed. She is pissed. Oh shit. Shit's about to get real now. Wait, Red Arcueid. Red Arcueid. This is where Red Arcueid comes from. I'm betting you. She's about to go insane and fucking kill everything in sight. The instant she does, I hear the sound of the world freezing over. You done fucked up now. Oh yeah, it's over. It's over now. Fresh blood dribbles from her throat as she breathes. Arcueid's arms tense as strength begins to re-enter them. Yeah, once that organ started playing, yeah. Raps. Her crimson blood continues to flow. Without making a sound, her body starts to lift itself off the ground. She raises her face from the pool of blood. I catch sight of her eyes, framed by her golden hair. The black, hollow eyes of a withered skull. Yet there, burning like a fire in their depths, is the bright red of a blood moon. She tweaking. She tweaking. She's gonna lift up her head, and the most horrifying face you've ever seen in any form of media is about to show itself. Her eyes are clouded. She tries to push herself back onto her feet, with one hand, but her strength doesn't seem to have returned yet, so she falls back down again with a splash of blood. With each and every fall, her body grows redder and redder, like red arcueid. She keeps trying to get up, only to slip and fall, over and over again, almost like she's enjoying the way she's clumsily flailing around. I can't move. Her voice, her appearance, her will, I'm powerless to stop them from flooding into my head. My own will gets swept away, dissolved, tossed about. My world spins around and around. As it does, her thoughts gush into me like a muddy torrent. I have never been drowned in this much pain. I have never felt this much hatred. And that is why I enjoy it. I can't even begin to imagine how good it feels to direct these flesh-rending strong urges at you. I'd probably break. I'd definitely break. It'd be such an irredeemable atrocity that I'd surely tear a hole clean through my heart. Yes, I should rip him open and spill his guts. I should pulverize him until nothing remains but dust. I'm never going to let him escape, never going to forgive him. I'm not going to lose that being, that warm heartbeat, ever again. Oh yeah.
すぐに殺してあげるから。
Her neck is still bleeding. Arcueid laughs maniacally, a crazed grin on her face as she writhes in a pool of her own blood. I can't move. My brain can't keep up. If I stay here, I'll be killed. If I value my own life, I should run. It doesn't matter where. I just need to get out of here immediately, or die. And yet, my legs won't move. In this crucial moment, my underlying pessimism, my own rationality, comes to the fore. I'll still be killed, no matter where I run. My body understands that fact, and abandons the last shred of optimism my weak self had clung to. The vampire slowly lifts herself up out of the pool of blood. I can do nothing but stand and stare, eyes frozen in place. A ripe tomato ready to be served. That's what I must look like to her right now. Tomatoes can't run, and a starving beast has no reason to leave them untouched. Pretty sure I've seen that image before. Oh, Ciel's here just in time. Sense a disturbance. Multiple shooting stars come flying in from the side. The black keys, weapons designed for use against vampires, skewer Arcueid's defenseless body. Hayuru Bunka! As if to finish her off, a large black something mercilessly tears through her like a hurricane. It all happened in the blink of an eye. Ciel-senpai appeared out of the sky, fired off a barrage of black keys at Arcueid, and before they even hit their target, was equipping her massive power bunker in preparation to attack. White and black collide. In that moment, the PAL bunker in Ciel-senpai's hands was torn apart by Arcueid's claws, but its long stake still managed to pin its target firmly to the ground. She's no longer writhing around in the pool of blood in the almost playful way she was before. Arcueid struggles to extract the stake that has pierced her, but her blood-stained hands keep slipping, and she's barely able to budge it at all. Or maybe that stake isn't something she'd be able to pull out easily, even if she had all her strength.
こっちです。
On one side, a voice that won't be sated by my death alone. On the other, a voice trying to spur me on. Hearing the latter dispels the fear that had gripped me.
先輩。
いいですから早く逃げるんです。彼女が杭を抜く前に早く。
Can you move again? My mind is still reeling, but Senpai grabs me by the arm, and drags me after her.
先輩、どうして？
どうしても何も聞きたいのはこっちの方です。急いで帰ってきてみれば公園があれでアルカイドがあれなんですから。
I guess that oppressive feeling of the world having stopped was an illusion, but reality. Even so, Ciel Senpai is no less impressive for immediately taking decisive action in the face of such an abnormal situation.
すみません。部屋から出たのは謝ります。頭の痛みにどうしても耐えられなくて、外に出たらアルクエイドがいて、あいつ自分のものになれとか言い出して。
そうですか。アルクエイドはロアとトーノ君を混同しているんですね。やはり彼女との対決は。いえ、それも覚悟の上です。ここでは話になりません。急ぎます。
Ciel Senpai continues to run. Based on the direction we're headed, there's no need for her to tell me our destination. We're headed straight for our school. Aw, shit.